It might be hard to understand for many, but porn addiction is as addictive as any physical drugs out there, and it's as hard to get off of it as well. With 260 million sites available on the internet, with an annual revenue of over 13 billion in the United States alone, we can say that pornography is widespread and doesn't show any sign of going down. This is why quitting porn addiction can be so hard for those who fell into the trap of the devastating habit of pornography. Right. Porn addiction wasn't such a big problem until the internet came to place and skyrocketed pornography exposure and its accessibility. Now, with over millions of websites available at your fingertips, it is becoming much easier to browse porn, and for some, it's becoming a growing concern and more people are looking for ways to quit this addiction. For most, it starts at an early age. 11 years old is usually the age for the average male being exposed for the first time to pornography. This rapidly becomes a habit for many, and some don't feel the need to quit. As it starts to become more and more of a routine thing, they grow tired of the usual soft/mild porn and start to look into more explicit material. All in all, it can be said that no one is immune to sexual addiction. Anyone from any background could become affected. Is a spouse responsible for their husband or wife addiction? By the time an individual gets married, his or her addiction was already there. It doesn't matter if you are the most attractive individual on the planet or the best lover, your spouse will still turn to his or her addiction the same way an alcoholic would turn to his liquid, or a drug addict would turn to his drug of choice. This is just their drug of choice, and you, as a spouse, have nothing to do with it. Therefore, you are not responsible. There comes a point where you simply have to stop it. You have to stop watching it. So make that point today. The longer you carry on with your old habits, the harder it will be to stop. Replace your porn watching with a new behavior. To successfully stop watching porn in the long run, you have to find something else to do instead of watching porn. You have to replace the old behavior. You could start going out more with your friends and try to find a real woman to have sex with. Or if you have a woman in your life already, you could try having more sex with HERTHAT. Is how you do it. That's how to quit porn. For most people, pornography addiction is like a massive weight on their shoulders, and just knowing that they keep engaging in it, they feel helpless, resisting against it. With no hope of leaving anytime soon, most people simply learn to accept it, and accept whatever comes with it. That being said, if you refuse to submit to your addiction, and you want to get rid of it before it's too late, you should look into learning how to quit pornography. Here's 5 tips for you on how to quit pornography for good. For some, pornography is affecting their love life, and they do not feel the need to please their loved ones. Instead, use porn to satisfy their needs. Others want to learn how to quit porn because it is a sinful act that they do not want to keep practicing. Whether it is for these reasons or simply wanting to have self-control and not let pornography ruin your life, there is something you can do about it. Why is pornography not any different from real sex? There is a big misconception that porn is not like having real sex, simply because it is not real and you are not actually involved. This isn't necessarily true, since at the time when an individual is exposed to these acts, the brain releases a tidal wave of neurochemicals and endorphins such as dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Identify your triggers. There are triggers involved every time you feel the urge to watch porn. Something such as being bored, feeling lonely, or seeing a hot person is a trigger that can give you the urge to watch porn. You need to identify them and plan accordingly. Planning is another key element on how to quit pornography. You can have all the knowledge, tools, and support, but if you don't plan accordingly, you'll fail each and every time. You need to make plans and set goals. Things such as what you do when you'll be confronted with a trigger, daily sessions of self-improvement, etc. Get help and support. Getting help and support is just as important as all the other tips on how to quit pornography. There are many ways you can do so. One of them is by looking online for help. The idea behind it is that by getting help and support, you'll learn more on how to quit pornography. You'll learn how to know more about yourself, and you'll even get support from professionals. Maybe it seems that your internet history is X-rated and every browser window you turn to has extra pop-ups telling you that there are hundreds of women in your area who are begging to meet you, or telling you how you can get your body ripped in a handful of weeks. If that's the case, then maybe it's time to admit to yourself at least that you have a porn addiction. In years gone by, things weren't as easy. You'd have to sneak out to the newsstand and buy a top-shelf magazine. Now chances are whatever your tastes, it's available for free at the click of a mouse. Okay, the first trigger is probably something you're unlikely to be able to quit whilst you're still breathing. We naturally think about sex a lot, at least partly to keep our species going. But there are probably other triggers that cause you to switch to a new tab on your browser, or even a different browser that you just use for porn, so that others don't see your guilty browsing secrets and have a quick look, which turns into a not so quick look, and before you know it, way too much time has passed. What does this mean? It means that any addiction is a major problem, and any addiction requires you to be committed to solving it. To do this, you must believe wholeheartedly in the benefits of being cured of your addiction, and you must be aware of what damage it is doing. Most importantly, though, you must understand and be aware of what actually originally caused you to begin your addiction. While the instant gratification I mentioned is what makes it easy for you to become addicted, the reason why you needed to seek such things out again and again is a whole different story, and maybe as varied as the bizarre sex acts you find in the adult entertainment industry. So sit down away from all those naughty screens and work out what else you could be doing on your PC that doesn't involve being a voyeur. Be real with this. You won't suddenly start reading the complete works of Shakespeare. So keep it realistic. Maybe some sites to do with your other hobbies. Forums and chat rooms, no, not those chat rooms, can be good places to while away some time and keep you away from the adult sites that seem to have taken over your life. If all else fails, take a cold SHOWERYES. I know it's cliched, but it will get you away from browsing dodgy sites on the internet. And it really does help to quell those urges that are keeping your porn addiction fed. This actually works as a kind of stimulus response. Unless your traits mean that you like the idea of punishing yourself, you will start to associate the unpleasantness of cold showers with surfing porn sites, which should help you in your endeavors to quit your porn addiction.